Another wonderful day, another beautiful day, and we get together and have conversations. We get together and we talk with people. We talk to people, people who are making things happen for our community, people who are influencing, people who are making the magic happen for our community. We talk about things that are happening in our community. Yeah, so many of them don't happen this weekend we passed. So many of them don't happen the week the way they don't pass. And I just feel like one of the most important who I really feel like might talk about today na culture. Now, generally on Sundays, we're supposed to have Innocent and my brother Ekule for here for talk sports and for talk politics, but today they no be because me I not actually reach out to them on time. It was a busy week, up and down, doing this and that, uh, trying to make ends meet. Yeah, so I need to reach out to them on time and so they jumped on other stuff and now busy people them. I hope say for those where they probably watch the sound be okay. Hope say for those who they probably watch the sound be okay. We'll make it really fast. Um we'll make it really fast. We'll make it really fast. Um if any person they watch, go ahead and let me know if the volume is okay, please. If anyone is watching, go ahead and let me know if the volume is okay, please. Just comment or comment section say volume they okay. If the volume they okay, just let me know for comment section say volume they okay. If the volume they okay, just let me know for comment section say the volume they okay, please. And then we can jump into this conversation, this topo, this langua. I don't know which will happen with that motor for Sunday, but it will be okay. Okay, my brother Sawa. Sawa said the volume the 100% okay. Thank you guys very much. This was an impromptu one. I need one just go the whole week. Go the whole week. I never do a live. Una no say now one of the things in this video actually like give me life, give me that moment to one need them for going with my things them for go around with the things that what they do. And so I try to always make sure I come on here and have this conversation. Today we'll talk about culture, and the reason we the one talk about culture now because I hate it or love it. I don't realize the culture they play a very pivotal role for everything where they happen around the world right now. Everything where don't they happen around the world. Culture get some very significant role for play. Almost every decision the way people they make them every day. I'm not talking about just every other person, even you. Almost every decision we make every day, your culture get a role for play for that decision. And yet we don't have enough conversation about culture. We don't really talk about it. We don't really sit in talk in try for and try for give me 1 second. No, sorry, now me wanna be I be host, now me wanna be technician. So I realized the light need be the balance, and then I needed to balance it. Now see how I don't pop now, no, that's a handsome. so so yeah, culture now one of the things the way it don't always determine the outcome of whatever situations we're going through, circumstances, how we communities they grow, how we communities interact, what people they do in all of that. Yet we don't really have enough conversations around that topic culture. And because when you get enough conversations on, people don't even be educated. People be educated one-sided. Like you hear people go always come online and say things like, oh, Bangi tribe na the best because the person na Bangi. Oh, Oroko people are the best. Oh, Fufuan Achu na the best. Oh, Kati na the best shop for the whole world. Oh, Nigerian jollof na the like all of these small things away. Yeah, it can actually be the best. Yeah, sometimes you need to celebrate you. Yeah, it is just normal that you can come out and appreciate you, appreciate where you're coming from, appreciate the beautiful things the way the beautiful things the way you don't probably achieve. But guess what? We have to be really, really careful. Else, why would we make some of these announcements and why would we talk about some of these things and make it look like, oh, we are actually hurting people? Culture. One of those topics, one of those conversations until we start get them and we'll be honest with ourselves and we start learn about not only our culture and learn about other people's their culture, then maybe we will start shape things differently. Even within our community, we realize that we'll start reduce the amount of conflicts away it happen, amount of back and forth. And even on international stage, you realize it is so the amount of it go reduce. When I was growing up, mommy be telling me something where stick for my mind. It tell me saying every curse is a blessing, and pay attention to how big the blessing look. You understand? And so the curse to actually look. Or if you put that say in every blessing there is a curse. Just pay attention to how big the blessing be. Now, so even the curse will be attached to that blessing be. But you know the mistake most of us make? We focus so much on the blessing and we ignore the curse. And in most cases, because of that, the curse they always come out for bite. It come back for bite we. Look at every beautiful thing you find on earth. Every beautiful thing, everything that looks really sweet, really beautiful. If these people don't manage it and manage it in the best way, it becomes a curse and then it destroys them. Like some people, they talk too much of everything becomes a disease, right? Too much of everything becomes destructive. If you take your small 1 glass matango, na fine thing, it'll make you feel high, it'll make you feel okay, it'll make you feel like, I need to go out and do things. But if you take 1 gallon matango, it turns to different. Even chop or the chop, right? If you chop just your 1 pound, small one, regular, you did fine, you stay healthy. But if you overfeed yourself, not only is gluttony, I think that's the word, is sin, but then you feel even feed to an extent if you breathe and then if you fall, die and things like that, or you become obese and then you die before your time. So the same way too much of everything becomes chaotic, now the same way in every blessing that is on earth, there's a curse attached to it. And if you not be smart enough for no see this, oh, this beautiful thing, this very fine thing what I enjoy, and this is my culture, what I really like, and my culture what I really cherish, and my culture what I really value, and what I really protect, and my culture what I feel like now the super culture amongst other people, their culture. If you not be very, very careful, that thing you call a blessing, that thing that is actually a blessing, it becomes a curse and it starts to destroy even you. Look at the small conflicts that really exist for our community. Small cultures, small cultures, they really don't group themselves with different appellation at every different level. Now, as I talk, if you get anything where you get them, contribute, if you guys have a comment section, or if you want my open phone line, may you call, make your contribution. Let me know. I open the phone line. You call, make your small contribution. The title on culture, and we talk about culture, and I say culture is a silent killer. The silent killer because we all already know about the beautiful things about cultures, how entertaining it can be, how pleasing it can be, how supportive it can be, how you don't do all this, if you do all these wonderful things, but the facts we don't ignore the negative side of our cultures is actually killing us, it's actually destroying us, it's actually tearing the world into two. And I'll give an example, but before I give those examples, first of all, wait to be culture. You never ask yourself that question. Wait to be culture. Because if you don't know where to be culture, it go difficult for you for even figure out how culture they affect you and me. If if you don't know it to be culture, it go difficult for you for even know say, oh, it means say this problem wey this one because of culture, right? If you don't know way to be culture, it go difficult for you for actually sit and be like, so this same culture we meet to get them, another man get them, another man get them, another man get them, another man get them. And because say we almost all man get them, what is the way forward? You start to ask yourself some tricky but very, very important questions. You start to ask yourself some funny but very, very necessary questions. You start to ask yourself questions the way at the end of the day, it no go only enlighten you, it go help you for go out there also and enlighten people for community. It go help you on when you're making certain decisions. Wait to be culture. For you when you watch this video now, wait to be culture. That would grow. I don't know me say culture now. Now traditional this, traditional that. Oh, culture now. I just get probably a very vague definition of culture. A very just, you know, that kind of small picking kind of, okay, yeah, culture. That's it. But like I said, as you the big, you start to be like, whoa, this is deeper than I thought. And the simple definition of culture, now a way where a particular group of persons, they don't practice some within some time frame. I say within a time frame and I'll explain them. So culture, now a particular group of persons, their way of life within a time frame. I say within a time frame because we don't see so many cultures around the world with time. They don't evolve, they don't grow, they don't change. They don't move from where they used to be to where they did now. And they even try to move from where they did now to some other thing else. Very, very possible. Culture, now a people's way of lifestyle for a period of time. Now, when I say a people, what am I talking about? Small groups. It can be bigger groups. It can even be a country. So if you start from just an individual, it get a specific culture, a way of life, a way they do things for some time. In a culture that, if it be a family, that family, they get their cultural practices just within them. They do for some community, but they don't do anything in the people of that community. They get their own particular thing that they do. A way of life for them. Now their culture that. Culture will actually be a group of friends where for some reason they want to come off here, 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 they want to come off here. They come together and they're like, you know what? Now so want to live our life between now and the next 100 years. That's culture for them. Culture will be a town, a city, a bigger community like a region. If it even be a country, if it even be a continent, and if it be the rest of the world. If you look very well, you realize that is where the foundation of all the problems in this world is coming from. That simple thing, culture. The way the man grow and the way me I grow. The way me I think say things they get for be and the way that man thinks say things they get for be. Because we get different cultures, because we come from different backgrounds, because we come from different places, because we grow with different ideas, different ideology, at some particular point in time, we start to ruffle each other. The man they say, oh no, now my way be the right way, now my way be the best way, now my way could be the only way. The other man they say, no, you don't mean say because you plenty power, now your way could be the only way. The other man they say, no, because say now me I get power. Now me I determine hard things they go for the one around the world. The other man say, no, now so me I don't grow me. Now so we grow, we chop in Yamangoro, we chop, and all of a sudden you say, we no more chop Yamangoro, because if I chop Yamangoro today, in next 20 years, then Yamangoro I chop and today go affect you. That is the foundation, that is the basis of all the problems we have in the world today. Culture, a particular, specific way a group of people grew up. All of a sudden, they are wanting to impose on other persons. No, you must do and so. You must do and so. Oh, no, now this one be the best. Oh, now oh, your own are evil. Oh, my own are this, that. Now, that is what culture is. The lifestyle of a specific group of people over a specific period of time. I say over a specific period of time because Whether we like it or not, whether we hate it or not, culture they evolve small. Either they move something them or they add something them. Either they move something them or they add something. Now, whether almost every a culture get persuaded like leader when a true you way they say the gods that they communicate with their group of people they need for the do at a particular time. Every culture get them, every community get them, every group of person get them. For Nigeria film, that power you should shake that is a they say eye of the gods. Na ye be custodian for that village. Na ye the see way to the gods want, hear way to the gods want, that can communicate that okay, from now on, we know the plan again for this season. From now on, that's what will happen. For some other cultures, for churches, na pastor be custodian. Now, whether ever pastor got to say, God don't tell me say more fast 7 days in. For that culture for church day, na pastor be. So other cultures and chiefs and be head. So other cultures na sultan. So other cultures na SDO. So other cultures na governors. So other culture na president decide. Different cultures, different leadership, but one goal: protect their culture, value their culture. Not only protect, sometimes even wanting to export their culture. Now, how can you actually identify people's culture without going to them and asking them questions, without going to them and talking to them? How can you from a distance? Because it's very, very important, like I said. If culture and that one thing around the world when a blessing, it was supposed to be a blessing. It is actually a blessing. But all of a sudden, it don't be more of a curse to the world. If you get for start identifying with their cultures, or if you get for start identifying with their culture, especially if you know if you go for corner there, you know if you talk for the all of how if you do figure out, say, okay, these people them now a particular group of people because now this, now this, now that. I made a post the other day and I talked about every time you walk into a room, make sure so you know every person within for that room. Make sure so you know how they relate. Make sure so you know what they come for can do. Make sure so you get detailed information about most of the people inside that room, even before you start making decisions. If not be so, you enter for the room, all man for them now one. They get one person where they decide for them. But you, the FCN man, decide on your own. So when it gets to that place where they get for vote, all them will always decide where to go favor them against you. And then you go still show them where they feel that, oh, this is democracy. No, I don't really think that's democracy. That's silent dictatorship. Because you know, even know say these people don't gang up for your back, and then they're actually voting against you. So, like I said, every time you walk into a place, every time you walk into a room, every time you walk into an environment, you want to be very, very observant to understand the people, to understand if they are in groups, to understand if they are individuals just like you, to understand, just understand what they happen. So you already know, say, if this kind of thing happens, so bam, I know say that kind of people they for the play they shouldn't. I know say that kind of people they shouldn't. No, I get for jump the table, I go shouldn't, or that people on that side, because that kind of people they for that side with me and they were culture be closer to more. How do you get to identify people's culture without opening your mouth and talking to them or without going closer to them? Remember, study talk say small people they learn more by what they watch than what we tell them. That instinct need disappear when we grow. That instinct need disappear when we grow. That learning skill, it need to disappear when we grow. You learn more by what you see than which way you hear or which way they tell you. Now, why that man picking go look home and say, hey, mama, yeah. See bulldogs. Hey, see did that, but the next day after I don't sleep with that woman, you don't want to see the woman again. They were attracted by what they saw, and then when they got closer to it and maybe enjoyed it, they realized and say, oh, yeah, despite that baby buttocks, despite that chest, I don't really want me because you don't get character, you don't get, The same thing with women. Woman go to look and say, mama, this is some tall, black, dark, handsome man, this, that. Hey, yeah, the way they talk is smart. And then before you know it, they are fighting and almost killing each other. So we get forget that capability for look people from a distance and observe them and understand them and know them even before we get closer to them or as we hang around them. That's the reason why it's important to know the basic, the foundation of what constitutes culture, the foundation of which they make a group of people their culture. And it's just 3 things. 3 very simple things. Where if you just me to any man will ask you say, wait to be this, wait to be that, wait to be that, it tell you if he easily talks, okay, this is where you're coming from, this is your culture. The very first one are the people, their language. But 4 people get their language, and some people get their language. Even Black Americans, they get their tongue, they get the way they talk. Caucasians, they get the way most of them they sound, especially as Caucasians. And then before you start breaking down to do wonderful year and do wonderful day, Hispanic, then they get their way they talk. By a way people speak, you can easily tell. That's why it's easy for America. Once I open my mouth, the next way they tell me, oh, where is that accent from? Because it's not sounding like an accent from around here. They don't hear almost every accent around here. They don't hear almost every accent around here. So what did happen and I see they easily identify say this particular accent. Monsieur Patrick, je suis en live maintenant. Je peux t'appeler dans quelques minutes. Okay. So once you open your mouth and speak, they can easily say, oh, this man, he not come up for our community, he surely come up from different communities. Hey, where are you from? Where are you from? Your accent, this is that. Yeah. By the way people speak, you can easily tell this is their group. People that talk to Oroko, people that will get out for a mob. For Cameroon community, especially for the Anglophone community, when a Oroko man speaks, you know it's an Oroko man. Even Bakwe man, when they speak, you know it's an Bakwe. I mean, when they talk English, you know it's an Bakwe man that Bakosi man, the same thing. So by the way a group of people speak, you can group them and say, okay, these people, them are probably from this place they come out. Did you know even as a Cameroonian, there's a way we speak English or French, where people they not come over Cameroon, they tell you, oh, naturally Cameroonian they talk to. I've seen Kenyans speak English and I know this is a Kenyan. Nigerians speak English and I know this is probably a Nigerian. Even though inside Nigeria, they come out from different parts of Nigeria, maybe for north or for south. But when they speak English or they speak Pidgin, you can easily tell this is a group of persons. This person is from this group of people from Nigeria. So language now number one. Then number two thing will help you identify a people their culture. Now how they dress. The Grassy man, they get away with they dress their Togo or their Togo. The Ghanaian man get their Kente. The Southwest man get their Iyasu. Different cultures, different things will represent their dressing. The Southwest man will do a wrapper, will do a white shirt, will hold a broom, will get a cap, classy. The Northwest man get away with the dress. The Western region, Nigeria man get. And if you look at all these cultures, you'll realize and say, some tribe there for Southwest, where they dress the same like some tribe for Nigeria. And then you want to go ask them, you realize and say, oh, then they get almost the same route. In as much as they live for Nigeria, the one they live for Cameroon, they get the same route. By their dressing, even though they won't be separated for more than 60 years, they still maintain that dressing because they maintain that culture and everything. So by the way people dress, you can easily tell where they're coming from. They call them VSAWT. I've forgotten that name. Maybe Ashwabi. They get some name they call that Danshiki or something. For a year, once you just see person with Danshiki, if them are African, then it want just sell the African culture. Suit, now some people that culture. Jeans, now some people that culture. If everyone was to respect their culture and dress like their culture, you look at Indian man, you don't know, so, oh, this man come on in Asia. A Chinese man, you don't know, so, oh, this man. So now the second thing that they help you determine a people's culture, the way they dress. By the way they dress, you just enter some place, you see a group of people, the way they dress, you don't know, so all the one they so they did for a group, I know how they mess with them. The third thing that determines a people's culture, now wait till they chop them. What they eat. What they eat. Every culture, every group of persons of the world, they get that thing the way they chop, the way they chop, how they chop, when they chop, and all of that, which is unique to them. Especially, like I said, within a period of time, because culture is not, I can say eternal, right? You're difficult to see some group of persons the way they get a specific rules so they don't respect them from 1,000 years ago, so now they still maintain those rules. No, as the world evolve, as things that they change, is that boundaries where it wants to talk with divide we now. So even that cultural boundaries they be eradicated. You realize for America, the culture where they get that be their cultural values or their what they call and their culture of year, it be a little bit different from what we get them back there. Why? Because they don't live or they don't exist longer than we. And because of that, they don't welcome too many strangers where you don't come in, you don't dilute them a little bit. So certain things they need to do anymore. Or even if they do them, they go do them for hiding, they need to do them again for public and stuff like that. So yeah, by what a people eat, you will tell say the man na Santa man, the man a Rocco man, the man are this, the group of people then are this, by which way they chop. So now the three key components in that way it build up a people their culture. The way they talk, the way they dress, and what they eat. Now, other things they did, plenty other things in day. But wait, I want to make you understand now. These three foundational things them. Now the three things in that way, it only cause the problem we'll get down for the world. All true. All true. You dress the way the other man dress the other way, you don't want to laugh the man. You chop the way the other man chop the other way, the man will laugh you. You talk the way the other man talk the other way, you feel like okay, I don't like the person, I don't care about you. Just because of that difference in culture. Now, when people start to get power, so when people start to get influence, when people start to, they just feel like I don't grow all my life like this. Why be all of a sudden I get for change because I want to accommodate the other person? That is where the problem starts in most cases. In most cases, na for the way the problem is start. Why na me I get for do this? Why na me I get for do that? Why na me I get for? No person, no one compromise. And that is how something that was supposed to be a blessing, something we don't carry on all through our childhood, through our adult life. So until we don't help we build a community and it's supposed to build a bigger community, it starts to become the biggest killer, the biggest destructor, the biggest, I don't know how someone put them. That's how we begin to be blessing, it becomes a curse. And yes, look at every problem we don't get them for the community. Most of them starts from that disagreement between two people. And if you want to look the foundation of that disagreement, it's actually based on how they were raised. Even within villages, between tribes here, you see two backward people who don't marry, they fight inside marriage house. Because the one grow for down booyah, the other one grow for up booyah. The one go for small support, the other one go for great support. And for great for small support, their culture now this not backward culture, but they get some slight change. For great support, they get the same culture, but it be slightly different. Now, when the two people they can't marry because they think say they be backward, they carry for them. Now that small difference, say I be small support, you be great support. Before you want to marry those scatter. You see two Anglophones. Where according to the culture we unite them, I say will be Anglophones. You be my brother, you be my sister. More married. When they don't marry, the kind of house, you want to see the man start to say, oh, me I be bafo. Oh, you been so. Oh, for our tradition, you want salute chief, you knock your hand to, you sleep for down. For my own tradition, no, we shall achieve the hand. We claim to be civilized. We shall achieve. I will sleep. I will sleep for them way to all my money I get. I don't work hard. I can't sleep for them for chief way. You know, even go school, no nothing. Now all that's so problem don't start. You know, respect my chief. I respect your chief. Now all that's so conflict don't start. You see two people them go decide for marriage, say they be Cameroonians. But because one person, he culture stipulates now so things they get for be. And by culture, I'm not talking about our tradition. I'm talking about even Christianity, religion. I consider them as a culture, a people's culture. Before you know it, oh, now so my culture talk, oh, now so my tradition talk, oh, and if you do me that one, oh, now so I go for do them. The other man, people the way they come together because they be thinking they be Cameroonians. All of a sudden, their individual cultures or their individual upbringing, they don't start jam their head before you know it. And sometimes they'll even drag their people into all this. You start here say Bakosi money marry or Rocco man. You start here say so money they marry Bamileke man. You start here say Douala people no one catch you on the people. Probably because of two individuals. Where is the foundation of that problem? cultures. We understand our culture. We value our culture. We like our culture. We want to protect our culture. We want to make sure our culture, the same way they be hand down for we more push them ahead. But at some point in time, we fail to understand, say, other people then too, they get their own cultures. We will get to respect them. And that is how something that was supposed to be a blessing turns to a curse and starts destroying our community. Look around the world. Every war, every back and forth around the world. Difference in cultures. Difference in cultures. Oh, the people they used to be now for we now want to take them back. Oh, the people they for here, the people they need treat you, they say belong here, one go way back for day. Oh, the people they do this, I don't like the way they treat their woman. I will go teach them how to treat their woman. Why do people they say, oh, I don't like the way you treat their man picking them. You like just that difference in ideology, upbringing, the things we eat, the way we dress, the way we talk. That small thing that we just build you as a human being. Now it be the foundation for all the chaos we get them for the world. Everyone thinks they are far more better. Everyone thinks they are up there. Everyone thinks they should be the decision maker. Everyone thinks I know better than. We know better than. Especially because of our village. We don't get some we don't go be minister. Or we don't get some we don't be president. Or we don't get some we don't be for some kind of place. It means say from our own roots, from our own culture, from our own descendants, a leader we don't come from. And for that reason, now we get for continue lead. And then before you know it, other person will come to that side and say, wait, now only Una must lead. What do you mean by Una? They already group the persons. They already group them into a culture. Now why they say now only Una must lead? None our own time to as Anglophones for lead Cameroon. Because you don't already divide the people. You don't already say, no, now that's now we this. It's not anymore about competence. It's not about meritocracy anymore. It's now about that division, that cultural boundaries. I will repeat them again. When I talk about culture, I'm not talking about traditional only. I'm talking about different way of life where a particular people don't practice them for some long time, and when they don't define how we they do things then. We can do better, we can do differently. And until we start to respect other people, their culture, we start to value other people, their culture, we start to realize, say, when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. When you go to New York, act like a New Yorker, behave like a New Yorker. Now you don't come out, leave your culture, leave play where you did for can be for day. The same way when they come off here, they go Africa, we expect them to respect the rules and regulation of that land. Or you meet our chief, salute them, the way you go for salute them. The day we all start respecting people's culture, we start valuing people's culture, we start protecting other people's culture, we start learning about other people's culture. That day we'll live in a world that can be so peaceful. That can be so, and we get to be honest with ourselves. Like I said, culture is a people's way of life within a particular period. It not necessarily means that they must live like that for the rest of their life. Now, if they choose to live like that for the rest of their life, that's on them. But it's difficult to see a group of persons who don't touch it will live like this for the next 1 billion years. They can do it for 1,000 years. They can do it for 10,000 years. But so one person will cancel and they will be like, nope. For our own time, we no one do it in them again. So I remember we had an event in the Rocco convention last year. No, not Rocco, but for convention last year. And they began to throw a cola for down. And then our president is say, if not back in the days, they not go even throw that cola for on top carpet. They not throw them on top cement. They get throw them for ground. You understand? But now we don't evolve. We don't build houses. We don't learn about hygiene and things like that. You want to throw cola for dust before people they pick and chop them. And back in the days, people they be throw cola for down. Now because they never get carpet, they never get cement, they never get some kind of tin them. They never there for America. So all of a sudden, we were inside some hall where it gets stage, carpet, the floor for the carpet, everything carpet, and then we'll come inside, we'll start the waka, so the fine ground. We waka, so the fine ground. So they will go to play with ground, they will throw a cola, or bend and pick the cola, chop, and then come back for hall. because of things like that culture don't evolve. You only need for the custodian will say, you know what? For bring peace for the world, for bring peace amongst we'll start to wear that color now for cement or for carpet. That is what every other community needs to start doing. That is what individuals need to start doing. Hey, I don't realize the things the way I propel my culture, the way I push my cultural ideologies. It hurt the other man in culture. It hurt the other people them. My try to shape and small. My try to keep and down small. My try to control and small. We can do that collectively, and you see how the world will become a better place. Our cultures, which is a representation of how we grew up, the life we have lived, the life we are living, the way we think, the way we eat, the way we dress, the way we talk. More remember, say every other person get a particular thing. And if I try to force my culture down some people that throat, or they try to force their culture down my throat, it will hardly end up well. And that's the reason. That's the sole reason. That's the only reason we have all the chaos that we have around the world. Go pay attention for any person where if you don't grow above beyond that cultural, oh, I be this, I so now I go limit myself. You realize the people they excel. They grow them, they are happy. They make life they go. They go look any person way, anything you want to do about culture, anything you want to do about my border, anything you want to do about my village, anything you want to do about my tribe, anything you want to do. Now the people they create the biggest problem for the world. Now the people in that way, they practice all the isms for the world, whether favoritism, whether tribalism, whether nepotism, or they practice all the isms for this world. Because the foundation of everything they do is attached to their culture. It must only be about them, about their culture. And then when another man too wants to practice that same thing, they turn around and complain. Next week, we'll talk about support your own. Support your own and how it has destroyed our community and the world at large. Just like culture. Support your own. Because first there was culture, and then support your own come later. So support your own was actually the vocal way for people to express their culture. For establish them, for force who they are down people's truth, whether people like or not. They came up with this whole idea, support your own. And then you start asking yourself, who be your own? Who be your own? I be ask some persons and they say, if Africa they fight with America, you support who? He say, I be African, I'll support Africa. I say, okay. If Nigeria they fight Cameroon, as African, you support who? He say, I be Cameroonian, I will support Cameroon. Okay. As Cameroonian, if Francophone and Anglophone they fight, he say go support Anglophone. I say, okay, as Anglophone, if Northwest and Southwest they fight, he say, I will support me Southwest. Me, I come on Southwest. I say, okay. If Boya and Kumba they fight, he say, baby Kumba Pikino, I will support me na Kumba. I say, okay, if up Kumba Town the fight and down Kumba Town the fight, which one you support? He say, baby down Kumba Town Pikino, I support me down Kumba. I say, okay. If the Muketes family they fight the Nokos family for down Kumba Town, which one you support? He say, I will support me the Muketes family. No, name for their come out. I say, fine. I say, now for the Muketes family, if Mami Nasa, Papa Nasa ko Pikine fight with Papa Magmila Pikine, we support. I be Papa Nasa ko Pikino, I will support our side. I say, you see, even within Papa Nasa ko Pikine them, people go still take sides. That is how destructive the whole support your own thing is. Once you start thinking about your own, you're not thinking about the whole. You're thinking about yourself. And at every level of life, at every stage of life, you're actually going to despise somebody, actually going to kick out somebody. You're actually going to disrespect somebody or hurt somebody for no reason. And if this person to go out there and start hurting other people, hurting other people, we end up with a community that is so divided, that is so crazy. Where when Francophone, they do their event, only Francophone. Anglophone, they do their event, only Anglophone. So a certain group of people in their way, where you see that you don't know, they say, oh, now the people they work do now they're not. You see other group of people, they just day. And you where you try to be like, you know what, I don't want to belong to any of those groups, whether in the Southwest, whether in the Northwest, whether in Cameroon, whether in Nigeria, whether in Africa, whether in the rest of the world, or whether in Francophone, Anglophone. I don't want to be part of any of those groups. You where you do that, that people will actually tie their heart, all of them, they'll gang up against you. But then they'll turn around and complain that the community is falling apart. The community is not growing. The community is destructive. The community is this, the community. Whereas we all, they contribute for create the chaos where it happens for the community. Like I said, it starts with culture. It starts with the way you were brought up. It starts with the way you think. It starts with where you're coming from. And then you wanting to make it look like where you're coming from is super, more than any other person. The guy will respect you because you become a Pekin. The guy will fear you say you overgo book because you be a Pekin. The guy will fear you say, once you start thinking that way, that's the problem they start. Like I said, next week we'll talk about support your own. And how support your own don't destroy the community to the extent when I look at it, I laugh. My brother Eric Banaf. Eric Banaf make a post yesterday and he write a particular name of people there. And he say, oh, now the people they do it, now they start the industry, now they made the foundation for this industry, blah, 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 and all of that. And I read all of what he wrote and find the way he actually highlight that also within and say, oh, the man if this you talk with the man, but they don't fix their problem. The man if they talk with the man, but they don't fix their problem. Oh, the man if they talk with the man, but they don't fix their problem. I just read it, I laugh. I'm just like, that list to you right now for this. So Eric S. Banaf, that list of people and that names you right now for this. So you claim saying that a lot of people don't build this industry, but I will tell you, so most of them for that list, now they don't instead destroy the industry to place where it is right now. Because now they actually introduce all this idea for support your own 80-20. Now we will be the big them for like the only year now for we because we the pioneer for the industry. That is how they divided the industry to where it is today. I remember between 2010 and 2016 when we got into this industry, guess what? It was very peaceful. Everybody was supporting everybody. Any man be the support, any man be the support. But the day where they start coming, oh no, I know if you support Stanley Eno because I support me na Jovi. I know if you support me Magasco because I support me na Tizi Panchak. And if you support me who else? Mike Monster because I like me na Pascal. And if you support Kosi because I like me na Tenor. From the day where they start with that, support your own. Oh, I know if you support Naira Marley because I belong to 80, they will play na only Cameroonian music, they will hire na Cameroonian artists. From the day where they start with that crazy ideology, the industry died. And guess who them? Go look there at least Eric S. Banaf. Go look there at least you post on the other day talk about how now the godfather in that for industry, not them for that list. Most of them for that list, that then destroy the industry. We'll get that. Now then they destroy them, put that way. Because never finish destroy. Now then they destroy the industry. They don't form small groups them, small cliques them, and they will invite you for their group. Once they invite you for their group, you know and join, you become an enemy, they blacklist you. And then they start to advocate against you for their small groups, their small jangi house them. I know you call them leaders. Most of them are not leaders. Most of them are just self-centered hypocrites who are wanting to take advantage of a community that they think is ignorant. That is who they are. And they will succeed for a very long time. You either loyal to them or they crush you. You're either loyal to them or they crush you. Thank you now. Our next topic will be on support your own and how it has destroyed our community. We'll talk about them later.